Hey everybody, welcome back to Jennifer's Garden. If you're new here, I'm Jennifer, obviously. I am located in upstate New York, way up northern New York. So I am in zone 4B/5A-ish, and today is going to be a very busy day. A couple of things we got to get done today. I have raspberry bushes that are creeping into my garden. I need to get some of them out. I'm going to end up taking all of them out and moving them in different locations. And I have so many that today I'm going to dig some up and bring them up to my boss's house because he can use them. And we're going to get some plants in. And unfortunately for us, it's still been pretty chilly at night. So I'm really glad in some of my previous episodes that I have really taken to the point that around here in our area, a sure thing is Memorial Day. Memorial Day, I can pretty much guarantee that I can plant stuff. We have a very short growing season. I generally, rule of thumb, Memorial Day to Labor Day, super short. So my sister lives in Florida and she's been teasing me with all of her pictures of all her little vegetables that she's growing and almost ready to harvest. And I don't even have plants in the ground yet, but that's the name of the game up here in the northern area. So I'm gonna show you what we got going on. So see, I had put 2 raspberry bushes that I purchased and put them in here. I've let them go the past few years. This spring I went through and cut everything down. So in turn, it pushed all these shoots out everywhere. I have not seen it like this yet. So this has to go because this is going to be all bushy. Like there's some actually growing in one of my beds. So I'm going to dig all of this out. I gotta get rid of it. And while I'm right here and it's early, I had planted my carrots in this raised bed. I had all the cardboard on top and I've been watering the cardboard, watering underneath the cardboard. And really you keep the cardboard on to keep the ground moist while these teeny tiny little carrot seeds get to germinate. So once you start seeing them come out of the ground, once they germinate, you can take the cardboard off. That was, today's Friday, that was about like Tuesday night, Wednesday. But I was working those other days, so I couldn't be here to absolutely keep this watered. So I kept the cardboard on just a couple more days, but you can tell that I left them on a couple more days because they're very laggy. They're not necessarily green. They're more yellow because they need that light to produce photosynthesis. That is why your plants are green. So I knew I was going to be home all day today so I could keep things watered, so I took the cardboard off. But if you can see the spots that were dry. There's no seeds germinated here, but a lot is germinated around here. And that's okay. They'll do good. They will green up here once the sun continuously hits them. And I'm going to keep them watered multiple times a day for probably the next week or more, as long as they need. And I'll start making the duration of watering farther and farther apart and watering longer and longer. Oh, hello. Oh, are you trying to get the water? Hi, bee. Hello, punker. We do need to get a little fountain out to the bee area. Get some running, a little fountain so they can get some water. We do plan on getting that. But, gonna come and eat and drink. All right, so let's get started. I wanted to show you that before I started tearing everything apart. And at least I got this corner done. It's already starting to get nice and toasty, but I got it. My wisteria was coming back until I totally forgot I had it, and this is what happens when we have one last night of frosty weather. But see, there are nodes on here, like here and here. So, I mean, when stuff gets frostbitten like this one last time, it all is not lost. It just has to take some time to recuperate. Yeah, I mean, it's all up here, so I think it'll be fine. I definitely need to start paying attention to this and start training it to go in whatever direction that I would like it to be. So, here you go, Hal. This is not even, this doesn't even touch the amount of raspberries that I have. But this is a good opportunity before I start putting stuff away to show you just how they grow and spread like this. So this is one of the main roots. And you can see off of each root, it will grow a shoot off of it. So as the root grows through the ground farther and farther, then it'll just keep growing shoots off of it. And that's why something like this is so invasive if it gets into an ideal location. So I'm gonna wrap it up in some wet newspaper. And I thought I would just put them in plastic bags, but I guess I have too many to give to you. So I'm just gonna put it in this bin and throw it in the back of my car. And I think that's good. We'll see how much I can give him. I really just want to get rid of it at this point. It's taking way too much of my time. Okay, gonna pack up my car. These are all the raspberries that Hal's gonna get. I did secretly throw in a cherry tomato, a San Marzano, which is like a Roma style tomato, an eggplant, some lemongrass. I took a chunk of my sage off because it had lots of roots on the end there, and my ever-loving mint here. And of course, who doesn't love eggs? So we'll head up and drop these off. I'm back. So I dropped off the plants to my boss's house. He has a beautiful, beautiful area. He just built a new house and he's working on trying to get yard done. And he's got these giant, huge boulders and rocks. And I'm like, oh my gosh. You can make the coolest potager garden ever. He could make like multiple garden areas. I don't think his wife would like that too much. Sorry, Em. We'll make a little one for you, so it'll be manageable. Anyway, so I'm back in the garden and it is hot, hot, hot. And this is the biggest reason why I saved this until today to uncover the carrots, because it's definitely, I was only gone a couple hours and I had to hurry home to water the carrots too. So we'll get them all standing up straight again, get them used to the sun. I will water them in very frequently every day. So I just went through each garden bed and I pulled out any weeds. That creeping thistle is going to be a pain in my rear. But anyway, we just do what we can do, huh? And looking at the potatoes. So obviously the parts that died off from the frost are not going to come back, but they will grow new shoots out of here. So they've come back pretty well. Even the volunteer ones came back pretty good. So I have everything empty. So it is going to be a hot and sweaty couple of hours here. So I'm going to lay everything out, see where I want to put everything. So that way I know what I can plant, what I can't plant, where I can plant it. And I don't want to plant something and be like, oh, I got to move that. So I'm just going to start plopping stuff in areas just so I can have an idea of what I'm doing and where I can put things. And I can tell you, I may not have a lot of plants, but this garden's going to fill up real quick. Also, there are some, like my zucchini. I just do those from seeds, so I'll just plunk the seeds in and keep everything wet. And since I have a lot of garden soil left, and I have a lot of annual flower seeds, I may make some pretty flower pots too. It doesn't look like much, I can tell you that, but it will be great. So I put the cherry tomatoes and the beefsteak tomatoes we're gonna put in here. I'll space them apart enough, but close enough, yada yada. All the Romas will be in this bed. We've got cucumber on this side of the trellis. Then the peppers are gonna go here, and the eggplant are gonna go here. So we got banana pepper, jalapeno, and the regular keystone. That's just a regular bell pepper. Then on the other side, we've got more cucumbers, and then the acorn squash, and then the regular zucchini is gonna go here. If I do have seeds for yellow squash, I'll put them in. They'll pop up in a couple days in some nice weather, so I'm not worried about starting them as seeds. The acorn squash, on the other hand, took a while to get started, so I did start those seeds a month ago. On to the brassicas. I put the purple and white kohlrabi right here, only because the plants tend to get big, but the fruit itself you should harvest it when it's the size of a baseball. So at least if I put them on the edge here, I will see them. I will pay attention to them more, because they were over here in the middle of God knows what, and I kind of lost track of them last year. I put the white cabbage here and the red cabbage over there, only because here's broccoli and cauliflower, and if you've grown them before, you know how enormous these plants can get. So I think I'll have to put the red cabbage over here with the Brussels. Now I've said before, I wanted to put the Brussels in here because I can put a temporary fence and hook it up to my cattle panel trellis and then wrap it around this bed, because come September, when I gotta pay attention to the chickens because I put them all together, so I'm trying to integrate everybody. So when the chickens come out here and demolish the rest of everything in September when I'm all done, the Brussels sprouts are still growing. So the Brussels will still go into November, even in December. You know, they might get I'll let the snow fall on them a little bit maybe, or get a couple of good hard frosts that makes them taste real good, but I don't want the chickens to get at them. This is the one thing that I don't want them to get at. So I'll put a little bit of fencing around that. I just wanted to make it super easy for myself, and that's why I'm gonna put them in this bed. I like Brussels sprouts. I didn't think I would like Brussels sprouts, but roasted, they are really good, and they grow really well here. So we're gonna go for it. Then we'll try our hand again at these loofahs. I planted four seeds, so I'll put 2 on this side, 2 on the other side. They are runners. They definitely climb up and over and around everything on this trellis, and I'm glad I got to start them early. And then the potatoes. So that actually fills up my garden. Super excited. So let's get everything planted. So I'm putting the tomatoes in, and I just want to show you how I plant them. So sometimes you can plant them on their sides and then kind of tilt them up and stick them out of the ground, or you can just plant them deep, because all the hairs along the stem of the tomatoes will grow roots eventually. I've done it both ways and they both work fine. These days I just dig a hole and plant them deep. I just go for it. I'm glad I laid everything out, because I kind of forgot about the green beans. So I guess the volunteer potatoes are gonna go. So I dig a hole pretty deep. I'm gonna take all the bottom leaves off. I will fill the hole up with water. Throw some fertilizer in here. This is just Trifecta Plus. This one's not super long, so I'll just take this off and plant it deep. So just the top is sticking out here. voila. I do go through and put the tomato cages in now, just because if you're anything like me, I forget a lot. And if the plants get too big, it's really hard to put a cage back around the tomatoes. So I did the one bed. These are the cherry tomatoes and the other ones are beefsteak. So I have just enough. I want to leave myself some room. Also, these tomatoes are determinate tomatoes, which means their genetics set a specific amount of fruit at a specific time. The plant only gets to be a certain size, and then it stops growing. So I don't plant indeterminate tomatoes here, only because I have a really short growing season. So to me, what is the point? I will put these in the ground. By the time they grow, they will set fruit from end of July till middle of August. Usually third week in August is usually when everything really comes on all at one time. Everything's really ripe, because by September it's starting to get cold as it is already. So they don't really last too long in September. So I'd rather just get all the fruit I can, save myself some time, and that's what works for me. Okay, day one is complete. I'm gonna stop where I am because I really want to enjoy this process, and I have lots of time. I am in no hurry right now. So I'm gonna call it quits for today, and I'll show you what I've done. So here are all the Roma tomatoes on this side. The other side I've got 2 cherries, and the rest are beefsteaks. I've been watering the carrots all day because they are stringy and they need water. Cucumbers, of course, as always, I overplanted cucumber seeds, but I'm going to be smart this year. I spread them all out, and I'm just use the other trellises, and I put some more on this side and put some more on this side, and I put my loofahs right there, so they'll be fine. I just had a couple Boston pickling, so I was able to separate those. So I kind of have everything laid out, and again, I'm happy I laid everything out because I forgot the green beans. So sorry, volunteer potatoes. My green beans are more important than getting volunteer potatoes. So how about I just do a few planting the garden episodes as I'm going, because this is going to take me probably at least another day. So episode 1 in the books for the garden of 2023. I'm so super excited. So follow along and watch the rest of the episodes. And as always, thank you for growing with me so I can grow with you.